Welcome to day one of the 3-day peace challenge. I'm your host, Alchemist Jedi, and today we're going to go over a couple little things to help you start changing your routine and start priming you so you can actually have a more peaceful, joyful state in your life. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. You're probably wondering who's Alchemist Jedi and why you should listen to me. I've been around the country in the United States. I was raised in many of the indigenous cultures, have done a traditional Native American vision quest. Google, look it up. It's actually a pretty intense process. You go down to just fasting on water for a week. They put you in a sweat lodge, which is a giant steam room, dehydrate you, and then they throw you into the woods. You sit in a circle for 4 days. No food, no water, just praying. If you come back with a vision, you passed. If not, you died. And it's just, the way the path was back then. I've studied, the world religions and cultures, from the Christianity, the Jainism, the Egyptian, the Hermetics, all the different Native American cultures, Buddhism, Hinduism, the Jewish mysticism, the Kabbalah, and worked on bringing all of this together, as well as the self-help, modern science, psychology, neuroscience, so we can make your life better. And if you guys haven't got it, I do have a new book. I'll have details for you where you can get my new book, Alchemy: The Master's Path, Create Your Peace and Calm. Everything we're going to go over now and through the rest of this challenge is in the book. So if you don't have it, get the book. But life begins and ends with the breath. And that is always the best place to start. And it's said that all of your emotions are held in the breath. So we'll use anxiety, for instance, because I know many of you watching, especially the entrepreneurs, you're always anxious and having to put out fires here, there, and everywhere. And while, the anxiety and that can be good when you're getting chased by a saber-toothed tiger, it's not so much when you're in the middle of the boardroom and need to be able to calm and function rationally. And what happens with the anxiety is you start future pacing and worrying about the future. And worry is just a waste of creative energy. It's your God-given gift, so you might as well use it constructively. But before we get into that, and we'll go more into that day tomorrow for reframing things, with the anxiety, you're breathing just from the upper part of your chest. And you start mixing with your oxygen and carbon dioxide ratios. So what you need to do to counteract this is you need to breathe deep. Well, that's easier said than done when you're in the middle of a panic attack. And I should know, I used to have such bad panic attacks that I would curl down into the fetal position at like festivals, busy shopping day and Walmart and stuff, just because it was too much people, too much sensory information, especially for a highly sensitive, gifted individual. It can be too much some days until you've learned how to develop your gifts. So what I was learned from various gurus, spiritual teachers, and things like that is count the breath. And specifically, you want to breathe in for a count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then out for a count of 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then out again for the count of 8. What this does is a couple different things. One, you're counting, and when you're focusing on mathematics, it is very hard to be in a panic attack when your mind starts going to more logical, linear, left brain stuff. So that's a great trick. Just the counting can help. Now, the reason I made the exhale 8 instead of 4, and I'm not worrying about the other parts of the breath where you hold at the top and bottom of the breath, because it's just too confusing for most people at the beginning, is that longer exhale tricks your body into feeling like you're starved of oxygen, and you take a deeper breath automatically. So after you count it for a few times, your biomechanical starts to calm down, and you go from the fight or flight back to the rest or digest. And that's one of the biggest keys as you're looking to get more peace and calm in your life, is you can only have the peace and calm in the now. Whenever you're worrying about the future, you've got your anxiety. When you're stuck in the past or, comparing yourself to others, that's where you get into the depression. So that's the first big tip to get you all started here. I want you to just do a couple quick breaths, in for 4, out for 8. I'm going to go ahead and do them with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that you've given that a try, see how your heart rate calms down, your mind starts getting a little bit clearer. So whenever you start having issues throughout your day, this is your first goal. And you're going to use this tool for the rest of your life. It will save you decades. It will save you decades of self-torture if you use it. Anytime your emotional state drops below the level of peace and joy, come back to your breath. That is the first. You pause, come back to the breath, and then you can do all the other processes that we'll go on to later in this challenge to do that. Now, the other thing I'm going to get you today is the way you prime. All the top performers around the world, all the elders from indigenous cultures, we all have very specific rituals we do right upon waking up and right before we go to bed, because those peak times, right as you're waking up and right as you're falling asleep, your subconscious mind is more open to suggestion and priming. And as you know, it takes 21 days to create a habit. So as you do these habits over time, it's going to completely reprogram and reframe the way your brain thinks. So we're going to start with the morning ritual first, because even if you mess up everything throughout the day after that, as long as you start with a good morning ritual, you're going to have consistent improvement over time. So Wayne Dyer, big fan of his, he would not get out of bed until he had tears of joy streaming down his face from gratitude. Now, I don't go to that level, but when I first wake up, the first thought you must program your mind to do is say, thank you for another day. Thank you for another day. Then you can go into thank God for that you are breathing, thank spirit, thank whatever, and thank every aspect of the life. The fact you have a good wife, that you have kids, that you have a house over your head, that you have food, that you have clean water, that you got to have Starbucks, whatever the case may be, until you can actually start feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. Once you have primed yourself emotionally, I then want you to get up and you're going to go to the restroom. And I want you to look in the mirror. So I'm going to use this one here. Nice little magic mirror. So you'll get yourself where you're looking in the eyes. And what you want to do is you want to use a daily affirmation to start programming your brain the way you want it to. One of my absolute favorites, I quoted it in my book, but I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. And you can Google it and you'll find him out. It was like from French from like 150 years ago. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. Now, as you noticed, I increased my vocal intonation with each one of these and let the emotion come out. This is what you want to do. You want to look yourself directly in the eyes to have the mirror effect to amplify the message to your subconscious, because just like looking at a candle flame in a mirror that can replicate 1,000 times, when you can say these affirmations with emotion while looking into a mirror, each time you say them can be the equivalent of saying it 1,000 times without the mirror. And doing it when it's first thing in the morning and you're still groggy and not awake yet is the absolute best time. So first thing in the morning, start priming yourself with gratitude to get yourself into a better emotional state. Then utilize that emotional state to start reprogramming your brain with the phrase, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. And you can repeat this phrase 10,000, 100,000 times a day until you actually start to believe it. And just that alone from the breath work and the affirmation with the mirror work will totally change your day. And then for the nighttime, what I like to do is to just like let go and clear my mind, to prime it for the next day. And so what I want you to do is start doing a brain dump. Grab yourself some notebook or whatever and write down all the worries and everything else you have. And then just draw a big circle around them and draw a line through them that you're letting them go. Just like, wrong, done, let it go. So give those a try. And tomorrow we're going to teach you how to reframe things such as anger and frustration from the little things that happen to you throughout the day and throughout your life. So again, I'm the Alchemist Jedi. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And if you haven't got the book, alchemythemasterspath.com, check it out, and may your day be blessed.